this a $1 million idea?
Ride it, light it, watch it fly.
And later, 1,000,000 to 1 odds. The family that promised a dying father they'd find the American dream.
He said to her, I will haunt you from my grave. You will continue on to America and raise our children there.
1,000,000 to 1 odds. Stories, they're going to inspire you to go for your millions.
Next, the unbelievable story of the family that would not give up until they found the American dream.
I do recall at the age of 5.5 or 6, my mother opening up a fridge, peeling an apple, cutting it in 4 pieces for her 4 sons, and she went to bed hungry that night.
Are you or your small business affected by the woes of Wall Street?
Home game.
Great American Dream is about risk and sacrifice. 1,000,000 to 1 odds. You share stories of people that overcame incredible odds to go for their dream. Hopefully, it inspire you to go for yours.
Millions of people have eaten at famous Famiglia Pizzeria, but not many know the amazing story behind it. Giorgio Collage was just 7 weeks old when his father died after rescuing his family from communist Yugoslavia. But this family was determined to come to America. When Giorgio was 13, he pooled his money with his 3 brothers to start a New York pizzeria. The business failed within 8 months, but the sons kept their faith in the American dream. 4 years later, they opened a new pizzeria in a new neighborhood, and it burned down. Today, famous Famiglia has 96 restaurants and will make more than $50 million this year.
Giorgio, you are the American dream, and I actually eat your pizza, and I love it.
Thank you.
You know, you never met your dad, obviously. He died when you were an infant, but I know your family made a promise to your dad who sacrificed so much. What did they say to him?
Absolutely, Donnie. My father was on his deathbed just hours before he expired, and my mother said to him, you know, I'm thinking of escaping back into Yugoslavia where she had all of her brothers and sisters. We had absolutely no one here in America. And of course, with the communist propaganda, there was a lot of propaganda against the United States. But his dying wish to her, he said to her, I will haunt you from my grave. You will continue on to America and raise our children there. And so we owe a lot to my dad. And so that was the catalyst for my mother, who didn't speak a word of English, who literally had no money in her pocket and not a relative in this country. But this is a great country. They take people like us.
I love it. You also tell a story of you opening up your refrigerator and when you were a kid, and literally there was just an apple in there and nothing else.
I do recall at the age of 5.5 or 6, my mother opening up a fridge, peeling an apple, cutting it in 4 pieces for her 4 sons, and she went to bed hungry that night. So these are the things that will not allow me ever to do anything but succeed in this country with my brothers.
And you certainly have. There's also another story about that same age in class that keeps you going also, because we all have those moments when people try and shut us down. What happened when you were 6 in a classroom?
I had all sorts of jobs growing up. You know, washing cars, washing people's homes, delivering newspapers, including selling ice cream or ices on 59th Street there in Columbus Avenue at the age of about 11. So a gentleman had come up to my card and said, hey, you ought to be in pictures. I was very skeptical, so I gave my brother his business card, and it ended up being a legitimate talent agent who had done a photo shoot for me. Unfortunately, one of those 8x10 photographs, the headshot, was large in my loose leaf. And so I went to school in the 6th grade one morning, and I opened up my knapsack, I opened up the loose leaf, and out flew this 8x10 photo. And, you know, I was a very poor kid, of course, so all my clothes were always hand-me-downs and ripped and so forth. And in the photo, I had a nice suit on, which, of course, was part of the wardrobe at the studios. So nonetheless, the picture folds right by her feet, and she picked up the 8x10, and she asked me what it was. I told her the entire story in front of the entire class, and she followed that story with really a barrage, really an attack, saying, you will never amount to anything in this life.
Giorgio, any final words? You know, your business burned down, you and your brothers had everything stacked against you. Anything you want to say to somebody right now? We've talked a lot to folks tonight that right now have got the odds stacked against them to keep them going.
Look, I do actually, and thank you for the opportunity. There will always be odds stacked against people, always. But winners are defined exactly in those moments. When things are going great, anyone can win. It's when things go awry, when things are not great, that's where leaders emerge. And you know what? You must remain committed. It has to be everything, all or none. It actually has to be more than all. If you're willing to do that, then you have a chance of success. If you're not willing to do that completely, then, in my opinion, you have absolutely no chance of succeeding. This is a great country. There are no excuses. I don't accept any excuses for myself or from others. So if you want something really badly enough, you can make it happen. No question about it. This is the place to make it happen.
Giorgio, you are certainly a man of inspiration. Thanks for sharing your story.
God bless you. Thank you.
You got it. When we come back, Big Idea Toolkit.
We had very humble beginnings. We landed in Kennedy Airport. We had $283 loan from Catholic Charities, which we repaid 2 years ago. But you know, know, we were put in the South Bronx in the projects there, and I do remember many stories, many situations, but one that will stick in my mind forever, and the one that drives me the most is, I do recall at the age of 5.5 or 6, my mother opening up a fridge, peeling an apple, cutting it in 4 pieces for her 4 sons, and she went to bed hungry that night. So these are things that will not allow me ever to do anything but succeed in this country with my brothers.